Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to check out some retro nostalgia at Happy Eights Collectibles in Southridge Mall in the heart of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, guys. This is something super cool. We were at the mall, and I said, wait, hold on a second, let's go check this out. So before you go inside, they have these two giant just glass containers full of nostalgia all over the place. I mean, this used to be a Disney store. You know, remember when those Disney stores were in the mall? Well, this is exactly what this was. Masters of the Universe, Star Wars. I mean, my God, I'm not a toy guy, you know, G.I. Joe, but all this is from our childhood, guys. Late 80s, 90s, I mean, hitting it hard. This is just an unbelievable store. So let's go check out the first kind of section here. This is kind of like their 50% off, like bargain bin, guys. You know, there's X-Men, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Batman, I mean, you name it. It's all 50% off. The prices here are kind of a little higher than what you would normally see in stores. They can kind of get away with it. It's that mall pricing, you know, but still a lot of cool stuff to look at. You know, we took the family inside, and I'm like, you know what? Guys, let's just go take a look. Let's see what this is all about. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to record a video on this because this just looks really, really badass, guys. And let me know in the comments if you see something that reminds you of your childhood. There's just so much nostalgia just packed in to toys, you know. Again, I'm not a big toy guy, but when you start to see some of the stuff, you're like, wow, I remember that from my childhood. A lot of Marvel action figures here, and as you go through each kind of section, they kind of have their own uniqueness and theme to them, as you'll kind of see here. There's a lot of X-Men here, Fantastic Four, a lot of cool stuff, G.I. Joe. This is just, I mean, straight 80s, right? Zartan is up there. Unbelievable. Like, G.I. Joe was such a big part of my childhood, as well as most kids back in the day. They had their G.I. Joes, they had their Turtles, and that's pretty much the gist of it, you know? There's just so much stuff to look at. It's just awesome. You know, there's another G.I. Joe, Ocean Assault Ship. Really cool stuff at the end of the day. Yeah, there's like so much to just look at. There's a Street Fighter Guiles there. Just so cool. Like, look at that. That's such a throwback onto there. And this is just really old. Hall of Fame G.I. Joe stuff. Like, what is that? That's awesome. Like, I've never seen that before, but maybe I had it in my childhood. Who knows, right? So much to look at, so much to see. Our kids had a blast just kind of looking at all the toys. I mean, who wouldn't, right? It's toys. Toys, guys. Get hyped. There's Star Trek here. Not really a big Star Trek guy, but Star Trek Next Generation. There's a whole bunch of retro. I mean, look at that. Look at the retro, just Star Wars, the Voyager. Like, wow, that's still some cool stuff at the end of the day. A lot of Funko Pops. You'll see that there's going to be a ton of Funko Pops here. Not a Funko Pop guy, but if you are, kudos to you. You might find something at the store because they have a bunch of them. Masters of the Universe. Unreal. Ton of that stuff as well. Again, I don't collect toys, but for people that do enjoy this, I mean, this is all about retro nostalgia, and it really just tickles your feels right here. This is just really cool stuff, and it really did trigger a lot of memories, which is awesome. They also have like a lot of autographed memorabilia at the store, which is another cool little bonus. It's pretty much just a hodgepodge of anything. I'm sure they buy, you know, anything that you'd want to sell to them. There's Raphael chilling there. Let's go. And then we have a bunch of Masters of the Universe in like cases. They have these like just glass cases everywhere. You're not supposed to open those or anything. There's an autographed Batman picture, little Optimus Prime action. Let's go. Just so much to look at, guys. There really is. I mean, you might have to even pause this video because I can't go slow enough for you to truly see everything that there is here. More Masters of the Universe, collectibles. Look at that old G.I. Joe. Never seen that before in my life. They have a lot of Micro Machine cars too, and video games. There's a lot of people buy like the NES and Super Nintendo games, so I didn't really get the chance to film that, but they have a couple of those there. They have like one shelf there, and there's more, you know, Ninja Turtles. This is their Ninja Turtle section here a little bit. Hodgepodge stuff going on. Just awesome stuff at the end of the day. Like, just look at this. It's so cool. Just like seeing it. And then, you know, just messing around. You go to Target, you go to Walmart, you kind of see more of the new stuff. They've kind of been putting out retro stuff, but, you know, this right here, oh my God, this reminds me of my childhood right here. Like, these types of sports figures, like the NFL, the NBA, like I had a bunch of these. Like who didn't, right? Like literally, look at this. This is so cool. I had a bunch of them on, my nightstand as a kid, and just kind of all assembled. Like, you're playing a football game with them and stuff. It's just really cool stuff. I haven't seen this literally in 30 years, kind of thing. A couple of Street Fighter cool action figures right there. Blanca and Bison, and then just like the Street Fighter 4 collectible series thing there, sitting there. And then there's also a lot of wrestling action figures, guys, too. Guys, look at all those championship belts. My God, they had these things staged and set up so cool, like in the little display cases. But again, all this is for sale. I'm sure it's all pretty penny. Look at that AEW Mandalorian helmet. Are you kidding me? What is that? That is insane. Wrestling and Star Wars, and it's autographed. Get out of here. That's super cool. They have a lot of they'll have some more wrestling figures. We'll get to that in just a second here. They're gonna have a whole bunch of new ones, AEW on the wall, which is awesome to kind of look at if you wanted something more new. This is something you probably find at a Target, Walmart, an actual, kind of retail store now. And then they have just a bunch of old stuff and old magazines, retro wrestling magazines. Awesome. Here's some more of the retro ones tied in with some of the new AEW ones. And then right here is kind of just like a hodgepodge of some, Funko land. And then these are some of the old ones that were out of box kind of thing. So they got some new, old mixed in with together there. Bill Goldberg, you see. But, these ones were just out of box. There's DDP. I remember Diamond Dallas Page, guys. There's Mick Foley. I think Dude Love is on the floor somewhere in here. But this is pretty cool right here. A little display. There's referee, NWO. This is so cool, man. There's Dude Love. He's just chilling on laying face down there, must have fallen over, but just a lot of cool stuff to look at. And then here, this is some locally made stuff. So Behold Collectables. It's cool, like keychains or something. There's a Pac-Man one, Matrix, the Red Pill, Blue Pill, Home Alone, Castaway, Wilson. There he is, right there. There's Flubber. A lot of just random cool stuff here. I'm surprised I didn't walk out with a couple of things here. I had good discipline. There's Home Alone. There's the guy's gold tooth, Flubber. I mean, you name it. Just a lot of cool, just retro vibes, Just getting into everything else. I mean, they had a bunch of movies too. World of Warcraft, Spawn, a lot of Spawn figures. Really cool stuff. But again, not my cup of tea as far as a collectible standpoint. But for you guys that are into this stuff, this might be some really cool stuff that you haven't seen before. And then here's some more, just another shot of just some Spawn figures that they had going on with some anime. And they had a ton of shelves here. Ton of shelves full of just everything. I mean, we're talking Power Rangers, Superman, X-Men, Transformers. I mean, you name it. It's all over the place. There's stuff that I don't even know that was in existence. More Funko Pops. And you haven't even seen the Funko Pop wall yet. Dragon Ball Z. There's some Lord of the Rings. No, it's a little hard with the glare there in the casing. But, there's some Power Rangers, Lord of the Rings. Just a whole bunch of stuff. All for sale, guys. All for sale. This is retro nostalgia as you know it. All the way from 70s, 80s, 90s, early aughts. Just some cool stuff that you just don't see all the time in a regular store, so. And there's some more Power Ranger stuff there as well. Pokemon. They had a lot of Pokemon cards too, which was pretty cool. You can buy individual sleeves and stuff like that. Here's a lot of autographs that they have on helmets, jerseys. They had the whole walls lined up with framed jerseys too. I mean, there's so much stuff in there. It was hard to even film everything. I'm lucky I got this far, to be quite honest with you. We're filming on a Saturday here, but a lot of Star Wars action figures too, both new and old. So for those of you that like collecting the Star Wars, they have both the old, really, really old stuff, like from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then they have more of the newer stuff from, the late 2000s and whatnot that even you'd find in a current store today. So a good mix of all of that, which is awesome, because if you're a collector, you can go in there and kind of find what you want. You might have to overpay a little bit, but sometimes that's the thrill of the hunt, right? Sometimes that just has to happen. Again, I don't collect the toys. I used to play with this stuff when I was a kid, which is awesome, but I don't do that now, But there's a lot of, you see there, Star Wars, the older stuff mixed in and with the new stuff, but it was kind of cool just to see it all on the wall there, and you get to pick it up and you kind of remember, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember the Micro Machines Millennium Falcon. Who didn't have that, right? That's really cool. That's really cool stuff. and then just getting onto the wall here, there's just it just goes up and up and up. It's all over, guys. There's a big shot of just that little, just that Star Wars section alone. Huge stuff, awesome stuff, and it goes literally everything goes right up to the wall, right up to the ceiling, and the whole place. And then here's another, kind of Star Wars. This is like opposite of that kind of display shelf that we had. There's just a ton of stuff in here. Again, a little bit hard to see with the glare there, but it's all kind of locked up stuff, a little bit more valuable. That's in there. Some of it autographed, some of it not. There's more Star Wars figures, to the left of that are just on this rack here, which is awesome. And then a Mandalorian helmet, let's go. Like the Millennium Falcon, that's awesome. Just sitting there. It's so cool. Look at that. And then on the other side, there's even more Star Wars action figures that you can kind of see and collect. And this is the whole store, man. I mean, this is it. Look at this. I mean, it's packed brim with everything. There's even more Star Wars stuff, guys. It doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop. So if you're a Star Wars fan, this is definitely a place to check out. Here's that Funko wall I was talking about. Look at that. I mean, if you got one, you got to have them all, right? So ton of Funko stuff to see and collect. I mean, they had like 4 walls of this. Just absolutely unbelievable. I was blown away. And again, I don't collect this, but for somebody that does, I mean, they even have bigger ones on the wall. Look at that. It's incredible. It really is. And you could probably find one that you don't have here that might be a little bit more rare. And there she is, that huge, just giant wall of Funko Pops. And again, they have a ton of bigger ones, like the XL size Funko Pop up top. And it's crazy. Look at that. They even had arcade 1-ups here, guys. Even had the first generation arcade 1-up. Now they're charging $350, so there's no riser. Worn deck. I'm good with that. I mean, $50 at most is what these things are. Look at that damage on that thing. But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, this is just a cool little retro vibe store, and they keep getting stuff in and selling things, so everything changes all the time. So if you're in the Southridge mall location in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you might want to check this one out, because they're always getting new stuff and their inventory is forever changing, because again, they buy and sell. So the constant flow of inventory there, that is just awesome stuff. And they even have like baseball cards and Micro Machine cars and the little Hot Wheels. Again, I don't collect that stuff, but there's just a lot of cool stuff here. I mean, there's so much random stuff that it's truly hard to kind of just record everything. I mean, look at, they have these cars on display. Just awesome. It's awesome retro vibes. Like, that's what it was. And I'm like, when we were in the store, I was like, okay, I gotta record this. I gotta record this. How can you not, right? There's baseball cards, some autographs, some not. I mean, they're just in cases after cases, and these are next to the Pokemon cards. Again, people were looking at the Pokemon cards, so I couldn't really get into there, but at least got you a shot here of what you can kind of expect, with the Pokemon as well. So there's the tour, guys, of the whole store. Happy 8's Collectibles. If you're in Southridge Mall, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, go check them out. I mean, tons of retro vibes, guys. I promise you will not be disappointed, guys. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Give this video a like on the way out. And as always, this is Danny from the CornerCult, and we will see you in the next one.